No, I'm gonna cover my nails. I don't want to cover my nails, but I have to. I'm Rick Martinez. I am a cookbook author and video host, and I am really excited because today the New York Times has asked me to develop all of my favorite essential Mexican recipes. I love Mexican food. I love Mexico. I, in fact, live in Mazatlan, which is a city on the Pacific coast in Mexico. And today I'm gonna be showing you how to make a really iconic dish here in Mexico. It's called a mole negro. Moles are essentially mother sauces here in Mexico. They're made with dried chilies, fresh chilies, usually tomatillos, tomatoes, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices. They're really, really incredibly complex. They can be a little bit intimidating because there are so many ingredients, but I'm gonna show you some really quick and easy methods so that you don't have to be intimidated by these ingredients. You are absolutely going to love it. The first thing we're gonna do is work on the chiles. Highly recommend that you use gloves. These aren't particularly that spicy, but they do have a little bit of heat, and if you rubbed your eyes or anything else, you will be very sad. So I'm using 3 different types of chilies in this dish. 2 of them are very common. You can find them at any grocery store, Guajillo and Pasilla. This is a chile chilhuacle. This is a native chili to the state of Oaxaca, and this is typically what is used in a lot of the moles. In this case, we are using the chilhuacle negro because we're making a mole negro. They are incredible. They actually have a very almost sweet, fruity-like flavor. To me, they're almost like using dried fruits. They're sweet, they're spicy, they're soft, they're pliable. There are a lot of tannic flavors that can develop if you cook the seeds and stems. It's better for a more cohesive, smooth tasting dish if you just remove them. We're gonna roast them in a hot oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. They're gonna get really, really dark and black and charred, but they're also going to smoke quite a bit. And so I highly recommend that you use your grill or do this outside. Unfortunately for me, it is raining outside, so I have my umbrella. Sebas, you can stay here. I will take this for the team. Yeah. So as soon as the chilies come out, I'm going to throw this in just as it is. Let it go for about 15-20 minutes until it's really dark and tender. We'll throw it in the pot with all of the other ingredients. So the cooking method that I'm about to show you is actually really, really common in Mexican cooking. It's used for making salsas, it's used for making sauces, and it's used for making moles. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna char the vegetables. I have a cast iron comal or griddle underneath this foil. I want the vegetables to get nice and charred on all sides. While the vegetables are charring, I'm going to work on the chilies. So the key in making a mole negro is to get the chilies nice and black, but then in order to get out all of the bitter, acrid flavors of the burnt chilies, you absolutely have to make sure that you rinse them really well. And you can see the color of the water is already starting to change. And all of that that's coming off of the chilies right now is that kind of burnt, bitter flavor. This is my third and final rinse, and the water's almost clear. I'm gonna go ahead and drain these off. And this step is actually really important because it's going to revive the flavor of the chili. So we've soaked them, we've rinsed them. That's taking out a lot of the bitterness. And now what we're gonna actually do is reconstitute them. They're gonna get soft, and then somehow, magically, they're going to take on the flavor of chilies again. All right, so the chilies have been sitting in this pot for about an hour now. They are ready to be drained. And And finally, everything's done. In 2019, I decided that I was going to write a regional Mexican cookbook. But more than that, I wanted to explore myself. I wanted to find out who I am, where I come from, find the origin of my family and our traditions, and find our place in Mexican culture. It made me not only a better cook, but I think it made me a better person, because I understand more clearly now who I am. To understand the cuisine of Mexico, you have to understand that it's layers of different people, of immigrants coming to this country, bringing their food, their methods of cooking, and layering it onto the cooking methods of the indigenous people and of the Europeans and everyone else that had come before them. And I wanted to broaden people's understanding of the cuisine of Mexico. Now we are ready to start frying. So we are going to fry this in batches. I am using lard because I love lard. I've grouped things by size and how much of the frying process they can take. So the nuts and some of the larger spices can take a little bit more time in the hot lard, whereas the herbs and some of the smaller seeds are gonna go really, really quickly. Now that everything's fried, I'm going to add in all of the chilies, the charred vegetables, the 2 tostadas, the salt, the stock. We're gonna bring this to a boil, reduce to a simmer, and let that cook until everything is really tender, the chilies are really, really soft, and all the flavors have come together. You will know when everything is ready when the vegetables easily smash up against the side of the pot. I'm going to blend in batches. I also have a little bit more chicken stock should I actually need it. I want to get enough in there that I know that my blender will blend evenly. And we're blending everything. So all of the dried spices, that cinnamon stick, everything goes in. And I'm gonna start on the lowest speed and then slowly work up to full speed. So low speed is gonna break up all the big bits, and then I can gently increase the speed up. All right. Oh, it smells so good. Oh. And now I'm gonna transfer this to a bowl, and then I will blend the second batch. And you do wanna let it keep going probably about a minute just to make sure that everything is nice and blended. And we'll pour this into the bowl. This is the messy part of the recipe. So if you have an apron, this is where you want to put it on. If you have long sleeves, you want to put those on because things are about to get a little crazy. That last step is actually probably one of the most necessary steps in the mole making process. It's one that I thought at one point I could get away with not doing because it is a little bit dangerous. It does make a little bit of a mess. You can see from my dirty wall and stovetop. But the process of frying the actual mole in the lard, it changes the flavor. It actually binds everything together, and you can see that this mole is completely holding itself together. It's emulsified. And part of that emulsification process comes from the frying. It changes the flavor profile. It adds a lot of depth that you're not gonna get unless you do that. The other part of this step that's very necessary is also continually moving the mole around and making sure that nothing is sticking to the bottom. You can also see the color just gets deeper and deeper the more we cook. And now that it's been simmering for about 10 minutes, I am ready to add my chocolate. And you can cut it up if you want. I'm just gonna go ahead and add those in and then just keep moving until everything is melted. I'm really excited because I'm gonna get to taste this. It looks so good, and look how black it is. Oh, but this is exactly the consistency you want. It's just really, really beautiful and velvety. I can't wait to eat. I feel like I've been waiting for this moment all day long. I love mole negro so much. Oh my goodness. There are so many things happening here. It's a little bit acidic, it's a little bit spicy, it's a little bit sweet, and it's smooth, and I taste the chiles. It's fruity, it's a little bit nutty. This color is absolutely stunning. A lot of the sweetness comes from the dried fruits and from the chocolate, but there's no additional sugar, which I didn't want this to be a really over-the-top sweet dish. This is, to me, quintessentially and iconically Mexican. Everything that I want in a Mexican iconic dish is right there. I really want you to make it. I hope that I simplified the process for you. I hope that you learned something new. For this recipe, you can check out the link below. And for all the other recipes, go to NYT Cooking and you will be able to try all of my favorite essential Mexican recipes.
You good?
Wow, that's loud.
Yes, I'm super ready. Cheers, man.
Cheers. Aww, cute.